Yeah, it sure is a great day for golf, but then again, what day isn't? This was always my favorite part of the day. I knew on the first tee I was at least close to the lead.
Hi everyone, it's Tony again, and hope that everything's going well with you and your golf's going okay. But I thought I'd do this little video for you just in case you needed a bit of a helping hand. And it's something that's nice and easy to do, so you don't need to do any swing changes or anything, and it still just could, naturally take a couple of shots off your round. So it's basically, as it's named, the traffic light course management system, and it's designed over a traffic light. So just to have that in your mind's eye when you're looking over a shot, and yeah, it's pretty simple. So anything that's in the green, it should be 9 times out of 10 should be a good shot. So nothing's ever going to be perfect. You will one day hit oh, this is be my safe shot, and still not really be safe. I've done that many a times, so unfortunately it's not 100%, but it should be fairly close to it. Your amber shots, it's going to depend on how well you're hitting your green shot. So sometimes I could be hitting green safe shots, but they're not really coming out of the center of the club. So when it comes to an amber shot, I'll be going, well, I haven't been hitting the ball that well, and it would actually more than likely turn the amber into a red because it would put me into trouble. So that's what the ambers, that's why I've put it as 30 to 80%. It depends on how well you're hitting the ball on the day as to how confident you're going to be going for that shot, which would then, if you're hitting the ball nice, it's obviously going to eliminate a lot of risk. Whereas if you're not hitting the ball nice, you've got to be aware that it's either going to have to be a great shot or it's going to get into a bit of trouble. And then obviously a high risk shot that's playing, match play, for instance, and you got to get up and down. You just have to play the shot. Don't get a choice for it. Or you might decide to, as a bit of fun, just to go, you know what, I'm just going to go for it. And if it pays off, then it's going to chop 2 or 3 shots off the hole, whereas it might put you into a lot of danger. So that's what the high risk shot does. So the other thing that is to go with this is if you know all the distances on your club, so you carry and you roll out. So you can go to somewhere, like where my golf club, where I'm currently playing with, I play with the Creekside Golf Club at Morak Golf Course, and Morak has the TrackMan system set up. So the TrackMan does allow you to look at your carry distance and your rollout. So they're two pretty good ones. So basically, just depending on how long you want to stay down there, you can take, say, an average of 5 to 10 shots with one club, and then that should work out your distance and your rollout. And you can obviously take 2 of your 3 bad shots out of those ones. And by using your distances and this system, should be able to help you out a little bit with staying more on the fairway and not being on the trees. So the next screen that I'll bring up, I'll just say it's basically the 18th at Moray Golf Course, which is a dog leg left. Now you don't see it that it where a dog legs, you'll go downhill a little bit, and then the green's elevated just after the bunker, I should say. But this is a good one to show that you can see. We'll go for if you're playing the green, if you go for the bogey, so the drive's a lot of way from the trouble on the bottom where you see the 2 bunkers, and you can see that where the circle is. Even if that was the best shot for that club, it's not going to make those bunkers if you turn it over, or if you're a right-hander and you draw it a little bit, or if you're a left-hander and you push it, you're not going to get the bunker because you've elected to play a club because you know its distance, and it's not going to make the bunker. And then you've decided to completely stay away from the trouble, and you're going to go, no, I'm not going to go for the green in 2. I'm just going to play sensible and cut that in half again. So you're going to play down to the bottom, just a little chip, and then with your chip, you've even decided to stay the bunker, stay as well away from the bunker as you can, get it on the green, and then 2 putt from there to get your bogey. Whereas the person, the orange line, or well, it's actually probably more yellow than orange that you can see on your screen, but you can see that the orange now brings all the hazards into the play. So the trees around the dog leg left, as well as those bunkers, because his best shot is going to make those hazards. So you want to be, when you're over that ball, you want to be fairly confident that you've been hitting it well all day, and that's the club that you feel the most comfortable with to get you down to a spot which then allows you to go, right, well, I'm not going to go for that pin because I'm still too far away from it. I'm just going to go for the center of the green, and then I get a 2-putt, and then that gives you your par. Whereas the obviously with the red, that just brings everything into play. That's the shot where you're going to go for it, whether you've got to make a birdie on the hole or whether you're playing a match play and you're even coming up to 18 and you think, oh yeah, I'm going to give this one a crack. I'm going to see if I can win the game with the drive, because it's a calculated risk, because you're bringing every sort of trouble into play. So not only the bunkers and the trees on the left, but if you push it straight to the right, then you're going to go through the dog leg and into the trees on the right. Whereas the amber and the orange and the green, if you push those ones, it's not going to be so bad. Fair enough. You still, well, the orange and the green won't go through the dog leg. You still might find the trees, but it still might be far enough back that you can salvage the bogey and the par. Whereas if the red drive, if you tug that left, that would be in all sorts of trouble in the trees. If you push it right, because you're going to really give it a go, it'll probably go. The dispersion will be further on that one. So that can even though it shows a birdie on this hole, because you've gone aggressive with the wedge and gone straight at the stick, you've ignored the bunker whatsoever and gone for it. But that birdie could very quickly turn into double bogey, triple bogey, depending on where you've put the drive. That's why I've sort of split the colours up. Later on, I'll show you a difference. What you do with a combination when you do hit a safe drive and then you go, well, I've been hitting the ball fairly well today, I might go for it again. But I thought I'd just show you, if you stay safe, if you're confident, stay safe is the bogey. If you're confident with your game, you generally get the par. And then if you really go for it and you hit all your shots well, you get the birdie. So the reason why I did that, and we'll just go through each of the handicap range. Even if you're off a handicap of say 27 above, so you go to 36, so you'll start be thinking double bogey is a good score because you get 2 shots for the hole. So on this hole on the green, you might even add an extra shot somewhere down the fairway, so you're on the green in 4 and 2-putt for your 6 if you get 2 shots on the hole, because there's a fairly low rated hole on the at Morax. That's one, it's one of the hard holes to finish on. So you very well way get to 2 shots on it. But if you stayed on bogey golf for 18 holes and you're on a handicap of 27, you're going to be 9 under your handicap. So this is where this course management will really come into play there. If you can, I guess, just take a little bit less focus on what your scoring is, and then each hole as you play it, you want to play it as a bogey rather than a double bogey. So anyone who's got a handicap of 18 and above is going to play under their handicap without even thinking about it, because all you're going to do all day is just going to stay out of trouble. You want to get on the green to make sure you get 2 putts for your bogey. So that's the crucial bit. This is where the course management comes into it. So you're not thinking about it might be a very easy hole and you think, oh, I should be able to par this, and you walk off with a triple, and that sort of starts blowing your score out because you haven't followed your system to go, right, I've just got to play the drive safe. You get down to your drive, then you decide if your next shot you want to play safe, whether even that means on a par 4 that you play it short, then definitely play it short, because it allows you to do your 3rd chip on. And if you make the putt, great, you're underneath your handicap. But if you're not if you don't make the putt, then the worst thing you do is play to your handicap, rather than, or even if you don't have a handicap and you just go out socially and you go, right, I want to bogey each hole. So you've got your overall game plan of doing bogeys, but now with this system, what you can do now is just break down each hole and then you go shot by shot. So it just gets you into a process of not worrying about your scorecard as much. Sometimes you will have to worry about it. If you're in a comp and you see a leaderboard and you know what you've got to do to go for a win, but for the majority of times, being in the green is for someone who's especially on a handicap of 27, it's you'll just blink and you go to 9 under. You haven't lost any golf balls because you've been playing safe all day. You might have one or two bad holes, but then again, you might have one or two good holes because you're playing safe. So that's where this system can really not only look at the whole round as a whole, you go, right, I want to play my handicap, but then also it just gets your focus on each shot a lot better because you want to, you know where you're going to hit it. So you're not going to, or am I not going to make that bunker because you know your distances and well, depending on the GPS or a rangefinder or just playing the hole all the time, you'll know which club that you're going to hit to make sure you don't get into trouble. So that's where people on the high handicaps, if they stick to the green, they stick to the bogey, they'll generally end up underneath their handicap. And now for people, I guess, that have brought their handicap down to 18 and they're looking to push it a little bit more. So essentially, a handicap of 18 means you bogey each hole. Okay. So if you want to go for the pars, you're going to need to now either bring in a bit more distance off your clubs and just be more confident in your game, while still playing fairly safe. So that yellow drive that we've got up there now might be your regular one, and that might be your green. So as you come down with your handicap, you'll find that the red and orange shots that you would have had before will now turn into your green because you've done that more practice because you're starting to play the game a lot better as a whole. Your coloring for your shots will change, so your greens will get longer. You'll get, you've noticed with the orange, the second shot to this hole is to the dead center of the green. It's not out to the right. It's your accuracy is a lot better. So that's where you'll find that someone who wants to come down even further than 18 will now start to have uh, the green on the outside will disappear and the orange will then become their green. So it's going to still be a little bit of an element of risk, but because your swing's a lot better, your confidence is a lot better, you'll find that that turns into your green, and the red will then turn into your orange, and you'll have another red. So for someone of 18, if they're going to get their handicap down further, then they're going to have to start hitting greens in regulation. But you always want to leave yourself 2 putts for the par if you're going to do that, to just make it a nice, comfortable round, so you don't have to do any scrambling because you're determining at the start of the hole, are the risks really a risk? I can obviously, my driver would make it down to those bunkers, but I'm fairly confident with it that I've been hitting it straight all day, that it's going to be a green shot. So as your skill level rises and your score comes down, you're definitely going to start having longer clubs that will turn into your greens. That's where you start to hit greens in regulation. So see here, by taking the pressure off your putter, by allowing it to do 2 putts, then when you come up to your birdie putt, you're sort of not really gripping the club like a you're not trying to choke the life out of your putter. You're actually be able to have a nice smooth putt because you know that to play to your handicap, you've got 2 putts to get it into the hole, which will take a lot of pressure off your first one. So that's here, and then you start making those occasionally a birdie or two, and then you'll be able to go lower and lower. But this is where it allows you to work on just being, I guess, and to a certain point, I've still got to listen to what I'm saying because sometimes I'm not always smart when it comes to the type of shots that I play. That I'll go for. It appears to be a yellow where it's actually a red, and that's why it's good to do this this little video because it's something that I'll be able to look back on and just remind myself that when my score goes out like blew out last week. So I'll just come back and reflect and go, that course management was terrible, and I've just got to sit back on each hole now and just map out how do I play that hole safely to the score that I want to get to. So once you get to 18, you will start to go, right, well, I'm feeling a bit more confident now. So rather than get on a par 4 for 3 to 2 putt, I'm going to get onto a par 4 for 2 and 2 putt to get you a nice easy par, and then build your round up that way to get your handicap down. And now for people that are off single figures, generally the orange line will be their green. So most of the holes you would want to hit in regulation. There'd be very few holes that that you wouldn't be hitting in regulation now, and a lot of the red lining would then turn into your orange one, because you'd be fairly confident that even if you do get into trouble, you've still got the skill level to be able to either back out and go, well, hang on, that drive was terrible. I'll just play a sensible shot here and give myself a a realistic chance at par. You might have bogey as your walk-off score that you're thinking about, to go, well, so be it. I went for the drive. It didn't work. We'll just go for the bogey now and take it easy. So that's how, by using this as you can see that as your skill level improves, the way you look at the holes is going to change, and then your approach to bringing risks into play will be different as well. So it may not, maybe that's for someone off single figures, those 2 bunkers there really don't pose a problem because they're behind the trees, but also they'll have the right club in hand, that if they push it right and it goes through it'll go through the dog leg quite a bit, then they'll still have a good. They know what an idea of what they would have for their second shot, and then even if they probably pulling it left on this hole is not the best thing to do in the world. So that would ensure they'd have a club that would either make them go straight, or their miss would be out to the right. So when you get down to those very low handicaps, you'll be able to work out what your miss areas are, as well as the shot that you should. They always plan for having a shot at a certain area, but if you're going to miss, make sure you miss the right way, so you're still in the hole to go for the score that you want to get. So here, for guys that are on low handicaps, that red would flicker between green and orange, and then they would have other shots that would, maybe the second shot would be still red because you bring the bunker into play. I mean, it's a big go, but it obviously, if your skill level's really low, then really good, I should say, and your handicap's really low, then that may not be a red shot either. So as I've said here on my next screen, anyone who's down really low will know their course management and their game pretty much by the back of the hand, so they know we learn how to miss if you don't strike the ball exactly the way you want to go. That if you're going to miss the right way, and that's they'd obviously be going for birdies left, right, and centre, expecting to make every green in regulation and have a really low score. So bringing up the next screen. So here's where I was saying before that you may have hit a nice safe drive, but then you've decided, well, I'm playing well all day today, and I reckon I can get that second shot to the center of the green. So instead of being a red shot, because I guess your setup's good, you're not hesitating when you're over the ball. There's no indecision. Then it does turn into an orange shot. And my next video about shot preparation will go some way to explain why you can come up to your drive here and go, well, I've been hitting it pretty confident all day. I know what the club I've got to hit to make to the center of the green. I know that the distance matches a particular iron. Yep, it'll be a good shot, and I'll go for it. So instead of see how the going from the green we were saying before was a bogey, but now we've turned this hole into a par because we've gone from a 9 out of 10 shot has given us the confidence to be able to go for the center of the green with a club that you're fairly secure with. And you may have even thought on this one, well, if I miss hit it, make sure I miss hit it to the right. And but this one's been a good one, and it's given you 2 putts to get the par. So it allows you by building up your confidence, but also it's an example of showing that when you written risk over reward, so you've increased the risk, but the reward's one shot less because you've gone from a shot that was dead safe to one that, look, it has a little bit of risk to it, but I'm hitting it fairly confidently. I'm going to give it a go. It's not an out and out desperation shot. It's just one that you felt fairly confident with. So that's how, by going from a green to an amber, you've able to just turn what you would have thought was like previously would have been a bogey, and you've turned it into a par because you've been playing fairly well. And similarly, with the this one, so we've gone for the very high risk reward with a drive, but then when we've gotten down to the wedge shot, you could have not been playing well all day, and you've noticed that this pin tucked behind the bunker is turned into a sucker pin, so it either brings the bunker into play, or it's going to make you miss the green. It'll be to your left or down to the bottom of underneath the flag, which may not be a good shot. You'd be short siding yourself, leave yourself very little green to chip and run on, and bring the bring a bogey into play. So what this person's done is they've said, "Yep, I've risk rewarded the drive. I've gotten away with it." But then when I've gotten down here, it could be in a divot, or there'd be other circumstances to go, nope, I don't want to go for the birdie. I'm going to go as closest to the green. Even though I'm close to the green, I'm still not going at that flag because I want to make sure that I get the par. So that's where you can go the other way. So from a high risk reward drive, and then just pull back and go, no, I'm going to play this one safe and secure the par rather than try and go for the birdie. So this, by having the different color systems, if you like, as to which shot you want to take, allows you to even mid-hole change the way you want to play. So I guess essentially the system should allow you to go when you're on the tee, right? I've got a general idea of what I want to do, but obviously you've got to focus on each shot at a time. But at least you go from 18 holes, you'd think, okay, I just want to play my handicap. So from 18, and then you might split it into the uh, 2 9s as to what you want to do, or I like to split my round into 3 6s, 3 6-hole bits. So holes 1 to 6, 7 to 12, and 13 to 18, because it just allows me to not only have that big score, but the little scores in the middle. Just if you're having a really bad day, at least that'll stop you from. You've got many targets to go for, so it's going to stop you around from. You're still from blowing out. You'll still have one of those rounds. I had one round last week where I uh, blew out completely, and it was just something I couldn't stop myself from doing at that point of time. The concentration was obviously shot. The care factor was down to well, it would have been near zero to be honest. And you'll have those rounds every now and then. It's just a matter of I always try and take something out of the round. So even during that one, I was just trying not to three putt. That was just the one thing that I took. So just to practice my the weight on my long putts to try and cut the 3 putts down. So that was something that I took away from it. A couple of drives were good. So you always during your even worse rounds, just try and get something from them, because they're your little building blocks that I'm really bad for this. I don't go on practice. But if you do go on practice, you go, right, well, the long putts were good. Might go work on my short putts. The driver was okay. So I might work on my mid irons, for instance. You can't work the whole game out in one go. Just do bite-sized chunks. But this course management will help you be able to work out uh, which part of your game. So and it works for, doesn't matter what your skill level is. Whether you want to be someone that stays in the green, you obviously keep practicing, get better and better and better, or you might be someone who's just completely out of form, and you'll go, right, I'm going to pull everything back and make sure I stay safe so I can have a good round. And now I thought I'd just add this in the end of it, because it's I guess something that I think about a lot, but a lot of people don't, where using the tee box can actually stop you from getting into trouble. So if I use myself as an example, and people would know me that I'm basically a drawer of a ball. Coming back into it, I've lost being able to fade or slice it for the minute. So what I do is, because I know that my big shot that gets me into trouble, if I really try and chase something, I'll snap hook it. So very rarely will I push a ball straight. So I'll always be on the left-hand side of a tee box. So in this picture, I would be the yellow line is me. So by being on the left-hand side of the tee box, and I aim to the right-hand side of the fairway, what that's going to allow to do is, if I turn it over, so you can see on this picture I've got my draws straightening out, but it would normally turn a bit more. If I was to be very naughty and turn it just that little bit more, I've got more room to play with, so I'm not going to go into the trouble. Whereas if you're like, this hole's obviously not a good fading hole, so if you're a fader and you're on the right hand side of the tee box, you can see here that if you play a dead straight ball, the worst thing that's going to happen is you're probably just going to roll into that bunker, but you're not going to be into dead behind a tree if you hit it straight. Whereas if you hit your normal shot and it fades away, then you're going to hit the right hand side of the fairway. And same with me, that if I didn't draw the ball and I hit it dead straight, and a lot of the times I do on this hole, I'll be in that rough on the right hand side. So that's my miss. So by using the tee box, not just teeing it up straight in the center of the box, but if you're a drawer, use or if you fade the ball as a left-hander, you'll be on the left-hand side of the box. If you fade the ball or you draw it as a left-hander, you're on the right-hand side of the box. And by doing that, essentially for someone, it will take the fading the red one, for example. What it's doing is it's actually taking the trees on the right-hand side out of play, because you're aligning further left, further away from the trees than what you would if you were in the middle of that tee box. If you're in the middle of that tee box and you're thinking, right, I'm going to hit a dead straight shot, that's where the junction of the yellow and the red line is, in the middle of the fairway. Now, if you slice that or you push it further right, you're going to end up in those trees on the right, and your second shot would include all the bunkers all the way to the green. So therefore, you would be cutting out more than likely a par, because you're going to have to bring all the trouble into play. Whereas if you use the right-hand side of the box and you aim left, a dead straight shot, if you pull, depending on what your confidence is, you might even pull a little back off. So you know that a dead straight shot will end up in the rough. But a right-hand shot will get you onto that nice side of the right-hand side of the fairway. And even though you bring in the bunker probably in front of the green into play, you're on a better patch of grass, and it would lift your confidence up a little bit to be able to make that shot. So in my case, being a drawer, I want to take all the trees on in this instance would be down the bottom of the hole, but it's really to the left. I want to take the left out of play, so I'll aim out to the right and just allow myself to go, okay, my technique's going to bring that ball in most of the time, and sometimes it just won't. Sometimes I'll just push it, but I know that when I push it, I'm not going to be dead behind the trees. I'm just going to be stuck in that rough, and then I still get an opportunity at a second shot. And then again, I would do the same thing with the second shot. I would aim out to the, well, to the right of the green. In this case, it'd be the top, and allow it to draw in. But I know that that miss out to the right is actually a pretty good miss because I'm not going to catch the bunker in front of the green, and also allows me more the green for to be able to chip up on. So even though you think of it as each shot at a time, you're still okay to certainly think about some planning. It's just don't plan too far ahead, because if you think too far ahead and you start looking at your scorecard and you think I should get 4 here, I should get 5 here, I should get 3 here, I should get 2 here, you generally don't get those scores because you're not thinking over each shot how you want to play it, and it's going to come out a little bit differently. So hopefully everything that I've just explained to you now does make sense. Yeah, feel free to please you can leave a comment down the bottom if you like, and I can certainly redo these videos at a later stage with better explanations. But thank you for taking time to listen. If you want to hear more videos from me, certainly click on the like, subscribe, and hit the bell, and that'll let you know when I release a video. But yeah, thanks for listening, and yeah, hopefully this will just take a few more shots off your game and keep you in the middle of the fairway rather than in the trees.